Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I'm going to do a couple questions on factoring. This is kind of the last and kind of the constructor response questions that I think that we should be able to get most of the points on. So I'm going to show you how I think you should attack these. So it says, this question says factor 18x squared minus 2 completely. So one of the first things I'm going to do is whenever I'm trying to factor, I want to find the GCF for the terms. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and there's a menu 25. It's called greatest common divisor, which is the same thing as a GCF. So you're just going to put the two numbers in there, 18 and then comma 2. And in this case, this is pretty easy. The GCF is actually 2. So let me take a picture of this because I want to write on this. So one of the things that we need the GCF, and we got it. It's 2. Now, the other thing that we need is we're going to make this into a function, and we're going to graph it, and we're going to find the zeros. And the zeros are basically kind of the opposite of factors. So once you know a factor, you know the zeros. If you know zeros, then you know the factors, vice versa. So we're going to graph this. We're going to make it into a function. So we're going to go here. We're going to make it into a function, and we're just going to say 18x squared minus 2. Press enter. Now, all we're going to do is, all we are interested in are the zeros. So I'm just going to do menu 61. And I'm going to go here. Here's my first zero. It's a negative 3333333. And then I'm going to do menu 61 again. I'm going to come from the right side and find the other zero. So here are my two zeros. So once I know that, I'm going to convert these decimals into fractions. So watch. So I'm going to go 0.123. I don't know how many threes to put. I just like to put a lot. And then I do menu 22. This is a really important key. All right. So that says that we have two zeros. One is x equals 1/3 and one is x equals a negative 1/3. So all you're going to do once you found the zeros is you're going to make the equations equal to 0 by doing the opposite. So we're going to have x minus 1/3 equals 0. That's one equation. And then it's going to be x plus 1/3 equals 0. Now, you can't have fractions when you are looking for factors. For instance, if I said, what are the factors of 10? You would say 1 times 10, 2 times 5, but you wouldn't say 20 times 1/2. So even though these two multiplied together give you 10, this is not a factor. So these are not factors. Same thing here. When we're looking at factors for polynomials, we don't want fractions. So how do we get rid of the fraction? We're going to multiply this equation by 3, and we're going to multiply this one by 3. So this is going to turn out to be 3x minus 1 equals 0. That's going to be 1. And the other is going to be 3x plus 1 equals 0. So these two are our factors. So now let's put everything together. It's going to be 2, the GCF, times 3x minus 1, and then 3x plus 1. So that's what we're going to enter. Now, last thing that I want you to do is once you found the factored form, go ahead and check it against the original. They should be identical. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to put 2 parentheses 3x minus 1, and then I'm going to do 3x plus 1. All right, and then I press enter. Now they look identical, but the best way to do this is to check the table. So I'm going to go Control T and then Control 6 because I just want to look. Now, if these two factored are the same, the output should be the same for these two functions, and they are. They're identical. No matter what numbers I put in for x, the outputs are identical. So that means that these two functions are equivalent, which means the factored and the unfactored are the same. So now I can go and answer this question. So let's get rid of this. And then we're going to put in 2 parentheses 3x plus 1, close the parentheses, and then we have 3x minus 1. Submit it, and it says nice. All right, so that's what you're doing. When you have when they give you an expression, we're going to make it into a function. We're going to find the GCF for whatever the terms are, the numbers, the terms, and then we're going to graph it and find the zeros. Once we find the zeros, we know what the factors are. We might, if they're decimals, we're going to have to convert them to fractions. And again, When you're trying to find factors, you don't want fractions, so you have to multiply and clear the denominator to get the factors. But that's basically it. So I'm going to stop this and I am going to post.